Hi, my name is Woolie, and these are my top 5 favorite fighting games of all time. Number 5 is Garou, Mark of the Wolves. This is the circuit board on my arm right here, literally. Mark of the Wolves, it's a pivotal moment, I feel like, in SNK's history, and a lot of what I love about fighting games is kind of like the history of where it goes and the journey that gets us to like these strongest culminations of like their art team pulling everything off together. With Mark of the Wolves, that was the Salieri to Third Strike's Mozart, you know what I mean? Like that was SNK's response to almost like a challenge to like elevate your game, elevate your franchise, and show us like the highest quality sprites, the music being as incredible as possible, taking this cast of characters, moving them into the future, updating the feel and the style of play with Fatal Fury in particular. I love how in that game, when hits land, the sound design is incredible. The crashes, the glass cracking, explosive sounds. Everything about it just like feels and sounds really good. And the way you move around when a counter hit happens, the way characters pop up in the air was something that at the time I feel like I was just not used to seeing, and it felt very unique and different. I love character designs like Rock Howard. The first time I saw the wings pose, seeing Terry Bogard with the hat gone and like the bomber jacket look, the next generation of Kyokugen Karate with, you know, Marco Rodriguez, like all these characters like representing, you know, this legacy moving forward, and like it's the peak of their art design, and a lot of fun with the break system as well, the AB cancel system, the top system with picking where in your life bar you want to add that extra ability for your character. It was a really fun response to, again, what I feel like was Third Strike being incredible, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and to this day, like, I feel like it's some peak SNK. Number 4, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. The Marvel vs. Capcom series as a whole, it feels like a happy accident almost. It's so much fun because from the moment Capcom started with like Darkstalkers and kind of embracing a faster, more hyper, crazy way to play these games, it sent fighting games on this journey where you had 2 roads, and like one of these roads is hyper and insane and leads to unblockable incoming overheads and mix-ups and the nonsense we see today. And I always loved that series from X-Men vs. Street Fighter going forward, and seeing the scale get bigger and bigger with each one. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it was like a happy accident, but it was essentially collecting all the assets they had built and put together into one game. And they just threw it all together and we got the insane game that we did. Marvel 3 was coming back to that idea in the future, but like it wasn't like picking all the existing assets. It was like grabbing a list of curated ideas and characters that would be a really fun, good pick for this world. So I feel like Marvel and Capcom is like 2 of the most beloved roster IP collections in total. You've got characters like from the Devil May Cry series that finally get to join this fighting game roster that are like incredible. Dante and Virgil are amazing. Fun characters like Phoenix Wright getting to exist in having a unique mechanic built around how the way they play. Like the amount of fun they've had with that, or like Bionic Commando, you know, Spencer. I love seeing like all these characters showing up in a new version of this game, and also seeing where the hyper fighting pathway, seeing that lead to just like the most insane, over-the-top synergy teams, the way people express themselves. Someone can show up and show you like, yo, Log Trap and Beautiful Joe, you didn't think that was tech, but it was, you know, like there's so much to those games that's incredible. I will always know that like, yeah, Marvel 3 was a moment, it was a time that just brought my favorite characters all together into one game. And when you pop off in Marvel, when you feel it, when you feel yourself, you know, like it's like no other game. It's like nothing else, you know. X Factor, Virgil, get motivated, you know, it's, yeah. Marvel 3 for life, Marvel all day. Number 3 is Persona 4 Arena. This one is just special to me because I liked the world and I like the Persona characters, you know, already, but the way it got integrated into a fighting game, I was so happy with. The battle system, the way that was designed to have so many universal mechanics across this entire roster that express the characters perfectly for their personalities, but also makes the game very quick to pick up and just mess around with characters and learn and start playing and mixing people up and having fun. I love like how the universal systems feed into each other in that game so well, and that even when you get better and better at it and get competitive, you're still using them, and like they're a core part of the identity of the game. Something that matters a lot to me in particular is when I find a character that resonates with me a lot, and you know, I kind of lock in. And I've said a couple times over the years that like there are games where I love the character more than the game. This is almost one of those moments because because Akihiko in Persona 4 Arena is like a part of my soul, I feel, in playing this character. I resonate with the Cyclone system so much. And I love the idea of boxers. I love the idea of defensive mechanics. And putting these two together with a system where as you go on the attack and bob and weave, you go from offense to defense in these waves of like inertia. And as you do it, you just get stronger and stronger, and you see the shadows getting darker and darker, and you become more and more of a threat. And at any given moment, you can go rushing in with a kill rush. You can dash in, you can dash back and avoid something, or you can get in and grab. The mix-ups just stay aggressive. It feels incredible when they're running for their lives or blocking, and like Akihiko's got the red shadows going and you're going all in. I don't think I've ever resonated as hard with a character's kit as I have with specifically Akihiko in Persona 4 Arena. So that game's just special to me. And design and music, all of that stuff, like Atlas has always been incredible with the presentation, the overall style and aesthetic. It's been peerless. That continues into this game. But little things as well, where like the way you want to like swag on somebody and like be efficient is in Persona. One of the comeback mechanics is awakening. So if you are about to die, you'll pop out, you'll get more meter, you'll have access to some more Persona, and like your character will be improved a little bit towards right before you die. But if you hit somebody before they awaken and you combo them all the way to death, they never even get a chance to come back. They never get that comeback moment. You can specifically fight in a way that like targets that and just denies them the ability to even get started on that comeback. I love that part of that game so much. So yeah, Persona 4 Arena, number 3 for sure. Number 2, Samurai Shodown. The weight of every action, the consequences of what you do in that game are so heavy. They matter so much. And compared to any other fighting game, I mean, I guess like Bushido Blade would be a good comparison point, but like this is just like mechanically a more fun game. Every decision you make in that game, it's like, it's not as about combos, it's not about sequences, it's about these individual reads. And when you press that heavy slash button, you live or die on the results of that. You can land it and watch their life bar explode, or you can get parried and have your weapon get tossed over. And while the weapon is getting tossed in the air and you're getting disarmed, they're also doing their once per game super and destroying 80% of your life on that. It's so much fun to feel so tense with every step you take. Right? It's this game where I have the ability to pop my rage and do the Isen mechanic, which essentially deletes a round, but you can delete a round as well. As insane as that sounds, it creates these moments of like hyper-focused attention spikes. You run up to people and have these moments of like, I'm gonna dash up and I know you're waiting to see me act, so I'm expecting your Isen, so I'm gonna do a dodge, and you might dodge past it. Or run up and do a grab, I dodge the grab, and then you come back down with your own. It's crazy how just these individual steps mean so much. And then on top of all of that, with the damage and the aggression and the single decisions weighing so much, characters mean so much to me as well. And I love a good pick that just speaks to my soul. Darlie Dagger in the new Samurai Shodown in particular. That is a Woolie character. I don't know what to tell you. From the moment you see that, like, okay, she's got the cool dreads, she's got the big saw, the Libertalia, like just when you get that C on somebody, it feels amazing. But she's one of these characters as well where when she gets unarmed, she can still fight with her fists and like keep up with the rest of the cast without her sword. I always love that, like, the character that brings a knife to a gunfight. That's my style of character. So putting that all together, I had a ton of fun with her in this game where you just slash somebody and watch their life bar die. There's a reason why Haomaru showing up in CVS 2 landing that heavy slash is like the stuff of nightmares, you know? This is the game where that is everybody's possibility. Number 1, Street Fighter 3. Third Strike. This is the circuit board for a CPS3 on this side as well. If Street Fighter 2 started fighting games on a journey, and you know, the first leg of fighting games before the dark times was through the 90s, I feel like the culmination of Capcom's journey was Third Strike. I feel like as we went through the different Street Fighter 2 and then Alpha eras, and then, you know, again, Darkstalkers as well, kind of feeling out where fighting games were going, the culmination of their design, their aesthetic, their sound, their style, their gameplay, everything firing on all cylinders, everyone in sync, and then taking their ability to revise what they've put out, you know, with New Generation, and then revise it again after Second Impact and just bring us Third Strike. You have the sickest fighting game that's ever been made. I mean, the World Warriors are iconic not just to the genre, but to video games. And I feel like the new characters that we get in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike feel as iconic as World Warriors to us now. Time has passed and we love those new characters that have become staples of the genre. I feel like the fully embracing hip hop in particular was just a direction that we all felt. We were going to the arcades, we're putting quarters up. We know that that was the energy anyway. And like, finally Street Fighter embraced it and brought it into the forefront on the main menu, the character select theme, everything about it was like, yes, absolutely, this is the street part of Street Fighter coming through. The first time you see Ryu's Hadoken blowing back his shirt and you're like, okay, wait, animation is, we're doing what now? You know, like it just looks incredible. Everything is bouncing and moving. Elena is like, you stop to look at this rotoscoped character and you're processing how smooth and beautiful it looks. It's incredible. It's so good. You want to talk about gameplay. We've seen different systems by that point, but the parry, and in particular, the revised version of the parry that we get in Third Strike is, to me, what designing around the flow state feels like. Because when you're going in on offense, or when you're playing defensively, you know, you're doing the dance in fighting games. In Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, with the parry, you have to stop what you're doing and go from a neutral to a forward input, deliberately moving into your opponent's attack with perfect timing, and that needs to be done with calm. You have to like let go of the fear in your heart of moving into danger. And you talk about, again, the flow state, and when you're feeling it and you read every movement, you're used to the animations and the timing. That's a game where you jump at someone empty, no button, and then they do an anti-air to you and you're like, parry, you know? Like, it's just incredible. It feels amazing, and I love watching that. Watching what's possible as over the years, the way Japan elevated that game, the insanity of the nonsense of waking up with Urien Aegis on top of you, Genei-jin going ham on people, the legacy of Chun-Li having like one button, you're done. Like low medium confirms into good game, shake my hand. It's fantastic. I love Makoto more than life. I need that character, you know? It's just so much fun to think back to that time where I really saw like what was possible with the genre, what fighting games could be, the promise of like where they'd go. And for them to go dark not too long after that was kind of devastating. I'm so happy that they're back, but like looking around now and seeing how much everybody else is kind of like, yo, Third Strike though. It's like, yes, okay, I wasn't the only one. It wasn't just me and my brother and my friends back in the day. Like we all kind of went, what the how sick is that? All day, every day, Street Fighter 3.